unrealistic. This is more in line with.
Did you hit 30,000 on Plinko?
No. But have you got a favorite restaurant at all in Oxford?
About 7 of them.
Okay.
Pound for pound, great restaurant town. I didn't mean
is.
to go Jesse Jackson there either.
No.
And rhyme like that.
Well, it's very hypocritical almost of you to say that there are 7 of them when you're mad at me if I have 2 in a tie. I mean, it's just
that's different, and you know it's different.
Oh no, I don't think so,
Dave.
You know
it's different, and you know it.
This is always 2-on-1. I'm telling you what.
It's sanity over. Well,
no. But here's the good news.
But we got a great restaurant town here in Memphis too. But I've got my favorites, and you know what they are, and we talk about them a lot.
Well,
it's not just advertisers. It's not just friends. I love going to the Rendezvous and the Commissary, and
you do,
and going out to the butcher shop and going to all our great places. Going to Jason's Deli.
Do you
They're my favorites.
Breakfasts?
I'm not a big breakfast eater, Dave, and I tell you why, and I've told you this before. No breakfast food really likes me, and orange juice hates me.
I don't understand that. I don't see how
orange juice
to
right here. It gets to the top of my chest bone that meets the throat and wants to lodge there.
Is that both pulp and no pulp?
It's anything. It's freshly squeezed. It's out of the can.
Is that an antacid thing?
It was with vodka. It was with anything.
Well, here's the good news.
Have you ever tried to drink cranberry juice without vodka in it?
Sure.
No. It's hideous.
It's okay.
Don't try.
All right.
Do not try.
Let me finish what's coming.
You asked me a question and I answered it. I'm sorry.
And you're just killing this for me. You come up with 7, you don't have a definitive one, and then you don't like
Mr.
breakfast.
Definition.
You
Definition.
You don't like breakfast, and
let's hand out medals. Here's my 17 bronze and 13 silvers and 91 golds.
It's because I see a lot of good. I'm a half full.
Let's do our top 4 list and have 6 people on there.
Only 5. Only 5 when the tie is necessary.
Top 4 and have 19 on it. Why not?
Here's what's coming to Memphis from Oxford. And it's one of my favorite restaurants in Oxford. Big Bad Breakfast, which is also good for lunch.
Yes, sir.
And they got a milkshake in there, right? Don't they? I'm pretty sure they do. That's like unreal.
They've got some great places and some great food and how they do it, and their commitment and causes to and commitment to causes and things. And Big Bad on the way, huh?
Big Bad is on the way. I am a breakfast person, and they say you're supposed to eat like a king in the morning, like a prince at lunch, like a pauper at dinner if you want to be healthy.
See, I've kind of gone all lunch and just very little any other time of the day.
Well, it works for you. You seem to be pretty healthy these days.
Well,
I am a breakfast guy, though, and in Memphis, and again, these are not sponsors, but Sunrise on Jefferson is a fantastic breakfast, and, of course, Brother Juniper's. Now, I like Waffle House. I like those kind of places.
I do too. They don't like me.
I'm a big Perkins guy. You like the Perkins?
I like Perkins, but let me
I
tell
can
you.
walk by a tray of Link sausage and have indigestion.
Wow. That's so weird to me. And you don't drink coffee. See, coffee, if you drink too much coffee
Never had a sip.
with those foods, that would do it. But Big Bad Breakfast is it's the guy that had grocery store, right? What was that called?
It's John Curran, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. John Curran's. He's doing it, and honestly, I love those kind of specialized breakfast places. And nothing wrong with Perkins or Waffle House or C's or any of those, but places like Brother Juniper's and Jefferson, Sunrise on Jefferson, this is right in that thing. I am going to love this place. Love it.
You will.
Can't wait. So we'll have a new place. It's going to be where
I don't know that I've ever had a breakfast with you, Dave. We've had a million lunches and 500,000 dinners.
Yeah. Well, I'll be happy to take you to the new one. I'll take you to Jefferson at Sunrise.
I'd be happy to go, but I know it'd be painful within 2 hours for me.
Man, I just
I can stand anything except for pain and temptation.
You're the first person I know where breakfast affects them that way. Some people just can't eat breakfast because they're not hungry.
Now, I'm not that either. I don't wake. I never wake up hungry because you get to 58, you kind of get things kind of regulated your way. And
yeah.
Kind of first swing of the eating at bat for me is always lunch. I used to play in a great 4-ball that had great breakfasts every morning. That'd be about the only 3 or 4 days a year I'd eat breakfast.
Wow. Yeah. 4-ball.
And then by the third hole, it'd be killing me.
4-ball with breakfast and a Bloody Mary, I'm sure, was a part of that menu at one time.
No. It was well after the drinking days. No.
Right.
The good Lord knew what he was doing, because if you wanted to drink at that particular 4-ball, you could have injured yourself.
Okay.
And I mean,
injured.
Cruel and unusually and maimed injured yourself. Yeah. I mean, it was because it was ribald. I mean, it was a lots of alcohol, and I said, "Good Lord knew what he was doing, not letting me ever play in this before I quit."
Yes,
I probably would have injured myself.
So we got that good news today. We've got the final presidential debate tonight, and I don't know how they're doing the mute button, but I hear they're going to have a mute button, and to me, it's real simple. Just so everybody plays by the rules. As soon as the guy speaks, you set a timer on the microphone. When the 2 minutes are up, it goes mute. That's it. I don't see what the problem is. People go,
boy, Drew, can we get one of those?
I mean, technically, I have mute buttons in here.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, if you want to keep us on a 2-minute schedule, I'll moderate.
I'm hoping Arkansas State and App State and the NFL game, and I don't mean this ugly toward anybody that wants to watch it and everything. I don't want to watch 1 minute of it. Nothing's changing my mind. I don't want to watch a WWE performance, and that's what I fear it largely will digress into. It's not changing my mind. I'm going to vote. I know the issues. I know where I stand on the issues, and nothing's going to change it for me watching two 70-something-year-old men have a big cat fight.
I'm going to watch it just for the drama. I've already voted, so it doesn't matter. They're not doing this for me. They're doing this for the undecideds out there, or for those of us that would like to learn more. And how many
what do you think you're going to learn tonight? Seriously. I mean, you think you're going to learn the secret plan to reopen the Marianas Ocean as a Pacific lane?
You know what? I hate to say this. This is probably terrible, and the people will attack me on message boards, and they'll go on to our First Bank text line.
Who goes to those anymore? Do you go to message boards, Dave?
Here's the deal. I think a lot will be watching this like a NASCAR race to see the crash, to see who
for the
crashes.
cat fight, and who crashes. It's the last thing I want to watch. And I don't even like how it's being covered in the run-up this afternoon with all the various cables out there. I think Corso's going to run in with a helmet head on any second. I mean, they're treating it like game day.
Well, I saw our friend.
And I don't think it should be treated as sport. I don't think it should be treated as provocatively and as antagonistically as we have let it digress into for at least 20 years now. Starting with the Florida recount, it got off the rails, and I'm out. I told you I was mostly agnostic. When I say I'm going to vote, I didn't say I was going to vote in every election.
You're voting in this election, are you not?
Hadn't decided yet.
Really?
I got some local races I want to vote in, and I'm going to vote. And I've got some Arkansas, not Constitution, because not in constitutional offices, but some. Well, there's Congress and there's Senate, but there's some local races that I really care more about. Hey, the quorum court locally means more to me than the Supreme Court. I got a good friend of mine running for the quorum court, and I want him to win.
Okay. So you will vote no matter what?
Oh, yes, sir, I'm going to vote.
Okay.
Too much blood was spilled not to do that.
Okay.
I just may pass on some elections, including one at the top line.
Since you brought it up.
Hadn't decided yet.
Since you brought it up, of course, the ratings will be on the Giants and the Eagles played in Philly at a stadium where Memphis and Temple played a year ago, and it is really a nice
about
stadium.
This time, yeah.
But here's the question I have. Well, it's not even a question; it's a statement. There's no doubt which is going to be the better game. Arkansas State and App State. That's a good football game tonight.
I want to see Arkansas State's new defensive coordinator. There were a lot of defensive coaches that got the hammer last week. Jimmy Brumbaugh at Tennessee and 2 at Arkansas State. And you mentioned App State, a really good team. Want to see how they perform. Both of the winner of this team can still have illusions of winning the Sun Belt. The defeated cannot, and it might be too hard to catch Coastal Carolina. There's a really good game in Conference USA this weekend with UAB and Lou Lafayette. That's good football.
It is. I will be glued for the rest of the year, or at least until they lose, to Conference USA in Marshall, because there is a chance that Marshall goes undefeated, and Marshall's really good. They got a sophomore quarterback who's a redshirt sophomore that is outstanding college football player. And the way their schedule plays out, they could really be undefeated, and therefore they could steal away the slot to the Peach Bowl from the American if the American champion ends up losing a couple of games, which, in my opinion, could happen. And speaking of which, the line on the Cincinnati SMU game has really surprised me. I believe, and I'm going to double check here while we're talking, that earlier in the week, Cincinnati opened up as the favorite in the game. And I do believe they will win the game. I think they're a better team than SMU, especially since SMU lost their best receiver and their second best running back. But that game line, I believe, has changed over this past week, and that SMU, it's at home, is now the favorite. So they opened up as a 1-point dog.
Saturday night.
And now they are 2-point favorites. Yeah, that's a prime ESPN game, isn't it? Like 8:30 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. 8 o'clock, late Saturday night.
Okay, that'll be a heck of a football game, and so one of those two teams is going to have a loss in conference, and you got to pull for Cincinnati because you can beat Cincinnati the following week, and you've already lost to SMU. So if you're a Tiger fan, you are really cheering for
Dave,
the Bearcats.
where are you getting that line from?
I'm getting it from the paper. What have you got it at right now from Vegas?
SMU minus 2.5.
Okay, well, I got it as SMU minus 2, but I'm telling you, the line opened to start the week with Cincinnati giving away a point.
He did do that.
Yeah.
All right, if Marshall runs all the way through and they finish the season 8-0, that kicks up the debate. A Marshall 8-0, is that more impressive than Memphis from the American as a conference well, Marshall might be 9-0 if they win their conference championship game.
They'd have to.
So Marshall 9-0, is that more impressive than Memphis winning the American but having that one loss and Memphis ending up being
I think
10-1?
Is
that right?
Yeah, if Memphis is 10-1 and beats and beats Cincinnati and say they beat SMU in the rematch, or they beat UCF again because UCF's going to make a run most likely. Or
no, that'd just be 9-1 for the Tigers. No, it'd be 10 counting Stephen F. Austin. Yeah.
Yeah, and the championship
game.
They're playing 10 regular season games unless there's more cancellations. So, no, here's my
we got to let Jimmy Gum at the Blitz know he doesn't have Stephen F. Austin on there.
Yeah, we do.
On his schedule.
My sense of that would be that Memphis would have enough games where they would pass any American team with the teams they have to play would pass Marshall. A one-loss Memphis team or a one-loss Cincy or SMU or any of those teams with one loss would end up in higher ranked than a perfect Marshall. But this is the year, and I still contend that in the SEC. I said before we made our picks, no one was going to run the table. Maybe Alabama was going to make a liar out of me. I don't know. But I think –
I don't know either.
I really believe – that there could be a 2-loss champion when it's all said and done coming out of the American. And if that's the case, now a perfect CUSA team like Marshall is in position to maybe steal that slot.
But in that 1-loss American against perfect Conference USA being Marshall, that's what we have the committee for, to sit down and judiciously study,
right,
and then independently decide but this team is better. Now, I don't mind saying that at all, and if the Tigers are the beneficiary of that, but it makes a lot of people mad when you reverse it and it's a one loss from a power against the unscathed. Well, they beat everybody they could beat, Brett. How are you saying they're better? They lost, that team lost a game. But no, and I know they are better.
Well, yeah. If I'm Marshall, and I speak from watching how this stuff gets rigged all the time, I would say if you're Marshall and there's 2-loss American Athletic Conference team versus the unscathed CUSA team, that it's probably the CUSA team deserves the benefit of the doubt, deserves the break.
But you changed the parameters. We were going 0-1. I mean, 2, of course. You make that change.
Oh yeah. But by the way, the
so
NFL,
you kind of worked in an extra team there, just like you do on your top 4, and you have 19 teams.
The NFL has
you moved the goalposts on me.
The NFL announced that the Bucs Raiders game, originally scheduled for 8:20 on NBC, is now going to be the 4:05 Fox game, and we will carry the new Sunday night game, which is the Seahawks at the Cardinals at 7.
Boy, lightly shaded pencil on all the schedules. Well, I know one thing, though.
You know what I
this
think?
Isn't
you know
lightly
why I
shaded.
think this is? I think it's because there was the Raiders tackle Trent Brown placed on the reserve COVID list. I think they're worried that there could be an issue with COVID, and so they're going to play it safe and play that Sunday night game where they know it'll play.
Sounds smart to me. Hey, Tennessee, sports betting. It's almost here in FanDuel Sportsbook, giving you an exclusive offer to get started. Right now, FanDuel Sportsbook giving users $50 in free bets just for signing up. You heard that right. They're giving you $50 in free site credit to register and verify early, no deposit required. FanDuel, America's #1 sports betting site, for a reason. They've got odds on all the biggest sports in a simple, intuitive app that makes it easy to find the bet you're looking for, then lock it in. And unlike other sports books, once you win, FanDuel gets you your cash in as little as 24 hours. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. But right now, the right thing for you to do is download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and check out their fantastic app for yourself, just like I did, and I've loved and had fun with it. Just be sure to sign up and register using promo code CASH so they know we sent you. When you verify your account, you'll receive $50 in site credit when FanDuel Sportsbook is live. That's promo code CASH to get $50 in site credit when FanDuel Sportsbook is live. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Site credit is non-withdrawable, expires 7 days after receipt. Terms apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. For problem gambling support, call 1-800-889-9789. This portion of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. They are at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com, and they are the one and only Lexus dealership in Memphis. Call them at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the golden opportunity late October sales event. Great offers on all 2020 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design that makes for a luxury driving experience. 901-362-8833, online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
We now have a date, and we now have a place. The 2020 NBA Draft will take place on November the 18th, starting at 6 o'clock Memphis time. It will take place virtually at ESPN Studios in Bristol on the Connecticut campus. ESPN announced Commissioner Adam Silver will be in studio to announce the first-round picks of the broadcast, and select draftees will be interviewed via video conferencing. In all the mocks that I see, both James Wiseman and Precious Achiuwa are in the first rounds. There was one mock that had Wiseman going as low as 8 because it's going to be involved in a trade or something like that. I'll be shocked if Wiseman does not go in the first 3 picks.
he will make somebody pay dearly if he drops to 8 or something like that. Top story of the day for me, all square in the World Series. And it makes Clayton Kershaw's Game 1 performance all the more impressive after the loss last night for the Dodgers. If he had performed like he had performed with October struggles in the past, then the Dodgers would probably be down 2-0. Instead, they're 1-1. Brandon Lau, spelled Lowe, but pronounced like Charlie Law, the old hitting instructor, Brandon Lau, he was the hero of Game 2 and entered into some really rare air with people with 2 home runs, multi-home runs in a World Series game. Gene Tennis, probably the most unlikely on that list when he did it in 1972 as the light-hitting catcher for the Oakland A's on the way to being MVP of the World Series. Brandon Lau could be on his way to an MVP.
Well, Brandon Lau did something even Gene Tennis couldn't do. According to the ESPN stat meter, this is the first guy in history to hit 2 home runs opposite field.
Good call.
How about that?
Yeah, Gene Tennis took it right down left field line on both of his.
Yeah,
as a right-handed batter.
That was fun last night. I love your take on Kershaw if he hadn't had that performance. One thing the Rays continue to do, they cannot drive in runs. I mean, runs in scoring position. How many did they strand last night? Woo, a whole bunch.
Bunches.
Yeah, absolutely. But we got a series now. We really do at 1-1.
Not top story of the day.
Well, the numbers from COVID are not good at all. Marquette has to pause now for 2 weeks their basketball practice following 2 COVID positive tests. And we had the 5th consecutive day in Shelby County with 200-plus cases. 202 new, one good ray of light here. No new fatalities, 2,800 tests, and it was a livable 7.2% positivity rate. Hospitalization numbers, the acute numbers were good. The ICU numbers are at 94% capacity, but I got to be honest with you, that is a little misleading because in those ICU numbers for those beds, only 19% are made up by COVID patients. Also, we have now had over 500,000 tests in Shelby County, 305,000 people. So it's over 500,000 because many have had more than one test. That we know 305,000 people, or about a third of our population, has been tested for COVID. In the United States, 8.5 million cases now, 227,000 fatalities, but the bad news is we are spiking 32,500 new cases. Same thing around the world, 355,000 new cases. They said in the fall there'd be a spike. Those guys were right. 41.8 million. We're approaching 42 million cases. 1,140,000 who have passed away.
My not top story, Tigers and Temple on Saturday. It's been a little quieter around town this week than it was last week for the much ballyhooed UCF game. It's a big revenge game, but it's feeling like it could be a little bit of a trap game for the Tigers. It doesn't have the vibe around last week, but against UCF, that's natural. And then after 50-49, that takes a lot of air out of the room, maybe until game day. Sometimes after UCF. And Drew brought this up a few years ago. There's that Bama factor for everybody the week after. I think there's a UCF and the AAC factor the week after you play them. That was Drew's original take a few years ago. I thought it was smart then, and I'm stealing it now.
Well, I think, too, just the venue that is going to be used to disseminate the game. You're going from ABC, and by the way, they had 90 people on the crew to cover that game, and now you are on ESPN Plus. Not ABC, not ESPN, not ESPN2, not ESPNU, ESPN Plus. And believe me, there's not anywhere near 90 people that are involved in the broadcast of that game. So you're right. There is a little takedown for sure. But if this had been the Cincinnati game right after UCF, I think there would be a big buzz. I think there will be a big buzz, certainly, especially if Memphis wins on Saturday, and they're 13-point favorites to do so. But if they do, then we got a big buildup, especially if Cincy is able to beat SMU in Dallas on Saturday. We got big games. That's the whole beauty of being in the American Athletic Conference. We are going to talk college football with Bill Bender in just 1 minute. I'm sitting here in the Family Leisure Studios with a reminder to you. It is October the 22nd. So we're talking a little bit more than a week. That's it. And then the world's biggest spa sale will come to an end. Now, I promise Lindsay and Billy and all those folks, they're putting together something special for you for the month of November and Halloween and everything, or just past Halloween, everything that goes with that. But you can still cash in on at least 30% off on spas and even the big swim spas. And there are still hundreds of different spas from multiple manufacturers for you to choose from. There's also special financing available. These are high-tech things. And there's special pricing on chemicals and accessories for the pool. As the pool season winds down, we got some special sales going on. Always professional deliveries available. All you've got to do is get to I-40 and Whidden Road, where they are absolutely committed to making your backyard or your patio a staycation place, Family Leisure. Back in a minute. It'll be fun to talk with Bill Bender from the Sporting News. He comes your way next.
Memphis Tiger fans, catch the Blue and Gray Show